Have you ever been on the right track? You feel like you've come so far, and then bam, something hits, and everything you've built feels like it's falling apart. If so, today's episode is for you. I'm gonna dive in. I had a client this week. She gave me permission to share her story. We're gonna call her Emma. Emma came from a great family. She said that she had a great relationship with them, the normal family drama, but nothing huge. No big T traumas is what she said. But at the same time, there was some dysfunctional stuff going on growing up that kind of affected her in various ways. She had chronic illnesses that seemed to clear up when she grew up and moved out as an adult. Now with a family of her own, she had a lot of goals that she struggled to meet, and she couldn't quite put the pieces together alongside her chronic illnesses. That's when we met. We started working together, and very quickly, all of those obstacles were removed and she was cruising toward her goals. She had a great relationship with her family, and she seemed to be completely free of the ailments that seemed to have plagued her for life. She was in a great spot. We were on maintenance mode. And then, all of a sudden, a series of things happened last week that sort of dropped her down a few notches. A few disappointments, a few things that she thought were on a good roll, but maybe backtracked a little. It kind of hit her confidence level. And then her family visited. All of the things that were left unresolved on those deeper levels that she didn't realize got triggered back in. And all of a sudden, what started off as just down a few notches plunged her into an absolute tailspin. And she contacted me and said, I don't even know what to say. I feel like all of the progress that I've made has just vanished. I don't want to do anything. I've lost all of my, confidence, all of my will here. What do I do? I feel like such a failure. I said, let's get to work. So we dug in deep. And we did a session, and all kinds of things came up. And when we were done, she said to me, I can't believe how much better I feel. She took a nap for like 4 hours, and then she got a full night's sleep that night as well, and just really recalibrated, really started taking care of herself and tuning in and listening, instead of it being a feedback loop of criticism. Of saying, maybe I thought I was better and I'm really not. Instead of saying, well, I guess old habits die hard. I guess it doesn't work after all. Or I'm right back where I started. Why do I even bother? Instead of doing that, or even throwing in the towel for your business, for all of your projects, instead of doing all of that, just getting right back to business and saying, you know what? There's just more. Every time I go to a level, I can then hit a new ceiling. And when I hit a new ceiling, it's simply information. It helps me break through the glass ceiling, because it's not a hard ceiling, it's a glass ceiling, break through to the next level. I can fully anticipate there being resistance. I can fully anticipate maybe there being some old things that maybe I couldn't see because those things are down here and I was dealing with stuff up here, which was what I needed to deal with because I needed to get deeper, deeper, deeper. I wouldn't have been able to handle this in the beginning. It wasn't appropriate. It wasn't applicable. It wasn't accessible. But now I've worked so much that now I can access this and maybe I know where to put it. If you would have gotten this information too soon, maybe you wouldn't have been able to accept it or process it properly. But everything happens at the right time. That surrender, that belief, and that process of saying, you know what, I'm going to trust that things are going to come up for me when it's the best time for me to handle it, when I have the right support, when I have the right tools, when I have the capacity to process it and let it go. There are many times in your life, I'm sure, you can look back at times when you fell apart. And if you would have had the later tools then, who knows if you would have been able to receive them, if you would have been able to process them. You processed them in the best way you knew at the time, and that was right for then. You have to kiss that goodbye and say, I did the best I could with what I knew. Now I know better. Now I can handle more, so more is given. And so we take those opportunities to say, you know what? When I get a setback, when I get knocked down, now I have the support, I have the bandwidth to process that, to lift myself out and to elevate above it. She said after a couple of days after processing that, she said she's never felt better in her life, that this needed to come up, to come out. So she was thankful for all that her family sort of bubbled up, that they ruffled up in her. And many times the people that challenge us the most, that are closest to us, maybe our spouse, our kids, our family members, our coworkers, our friends, these are all people meant to help us grow. Some people are meant to be our support. Some people are meant to be our challengers that help us grow, develop, elevate to where we need to be in our lives. Where would we be without these people? So love them, thank them, and let them go.